that would be great if you all do that, because you'll be able to practice in, and you'll be able to create a website of your own, and you can create it as a your minor project as well. Okay, so let it be. Not then it's all right. Yeah. So first of all, let's run this project and let's see what the output we get here. So we'll wait till the project runs. And do you guys have any kind of doubt about the project or anything like that? Right? If you have it, then please let me know.
No, sir.
All right. Okay, so last time we saw that we had a. Okay, so let's open the database as well, so that just a second here. Okay, so let's continue it. Now, what we can see that we have a we're using the database CD, right? Now, the table that we had is show tables. Yeah, so we have the login table here. So select start from login, right? So we have extracted the data. So let's do it again here. We can see that this is our data right now. Let's insert another data here, maybe XYZ. Let's let the password should be 9, 8, and 7, right? Then we'll click on the register button. What will happen that it says the data has been inserted, right? And now we can see that when we'll run this query again, we can see that we have the data here in the database, right? So what we did here, we just connected our database to the HTML page, right? So now let's make our site a little better, right? Let's make our site look good so that we can call it actually a website. So we are just going to apply some good HTML CSS to it. Another thing that you all can do is write it in write the form in a table form. Right? So it will be better. Table, right? So when it comes to text, and what do we need to do then? We need to write the label here. We have one table data here and another table data here. And the second table data that we have is the You don't need this BR tag then. Things will automatically get set in a form of a table. Okay, then we are going to add another input here, which will be a reset button, right? So that we can reset our form's detail. Reset, right? Now this is a form here right now. So when we'll try to see the changes here, what we can see here is it has been arranged in a form of a table, right? So let's make our site a little more attractive. So what we are going to do is let's add a heading. Now it's all just up to you. Registration page, let's call it registration page. Then we have a form, then we have a table, and okay. So now here we are going to use a list here. Now why we are using this list here, we'll just come to know this. let's let's make a home page here, right? And we have a registration page here, and then we have a login page here, and then maybe we have a about page, right? This is what we have a list here, and let's add this list. The top of the table, and let's maybe take it. Right, let's keep it here only. So now let's see how does our page look now. So it's written here registration page. We can see the list here. Now we are going to make the list work somehow. We'll see that. Now right now it's looking really boring, but uh, okay. So we have a show.java which we, we don't have its use now. Let's create another file here. Okay, so we'll go to new, then we'll go to servlet. Right. Let's create a login page. Right. Don't forget to tick on this. Alright, so we have a login page here. Let's remove all this. Or you can even leave this like this. There's no problem with it. And let's just copy this from here so that it will be better. Just copy all the text from there to here. Name of this page is login, right? And this is our page here. And what we need to do is we need to just change all this. Okay, so we'll now think about what we need to do in this login part, right? And before that, let's do one more thing here, which is now what we want here is yeah, what we want to do here is so this is how we can comment a multi-line, right? Now, so what we want to do here is if all these things happen, right? If our code works fine, what we want to happen is right. We want to happen is we want to redirect our page response dot send send redirect. What we want to do is we want to redirect our page to the same index.html page. Right? This is what we want. So the different things that we can do in a website. Let's enter one more thing. Password 1234. And we'll click on this register. Right? We got redirected to this page only, but when we see whether the data has been inserted or not, we can see that the data has been inserted, but we have been redirected to the same page only, right? So it feels like the data has not been inserted, but it has been inserted. You can see that, right? So this is a quick fix that we did here. Now another thing that we are going to do here is okay. So we have a list, and yeah, so we can have a heading of our website as well. See, we can create a website whatever we want to. So let's have one more thing, which is a anchor tag, because we want to link our website to it, right? Yeah, right. So now what we're going to do is our okay. So index.html is a different page. Let's create another page which will be called as home page. Where's the HTML? Yes, it's here. Let's call it as home.html, right? So we have a home page here, and what will this page do? And what will this page contain? We'll just have a home, right? Let's copy this list from here. Okay, so let's do another thing, which is copy all this from here. Okay, right. So that this will be our registration page. Let's rename it. Okay. Okay, there's an option again. Okay. So what we are going to do here is this index.html page. This will be our home page, right? So let's give it a title as home, and it has all these functionalities. Index.html, right? We are just figuring out how our website should look like, nothing else. Our home page will look like. Now let's set things here as well. Home.html. And in this home.html we have index. Yes. Registration pages. Home.html is our registration page, and index.html is our home page. Right? So don't get confused in this. Now we have this index.html and we have this home.html. What's the problem with this? Alright. How about this? Okay, so we just solved the error here. So tell me one thing, will you guys be able to do all this in your own laptops or computers, or will you guys be able to do that? You can have a project of your own which you can use in your resumes, or you can even, when interviewer asks you what projects you have done, then you can tell them that yes, these are the projects that we have created. So these are the projects that whatever we are doing right now is the base of creating a project, right? So if you just focus on your and how to develop this project, you'll surely be able to develop a good project by your own as well. Yeah, I'm just giving you a basic idea of how a project looks like. Okay, so we have show index HTML. Right? So let's run this project again. So we've deployed it again. Now what we can see that it's nothing, since we have nothing written in our home page. It's nothing there. Now when we click on this registration page, what we can see that we are at the registration page, right? Now we can write anything and we can register it, and it will get stored in our data. Now let's code the login page. Now for login page, what we need here is, see, you can have as many as fields you want, right? You can have as many as fields you want. So login, and let's create a so right now I'm audible, right? Right, I guess I am audible. So those who joined late, did you like? Do you guys have any problem in creating this project, or any doubts, anything? See, if you won't ask me, then it will be hard for you all to make a project on your own. It's alright if you don't have. That's not an issue. And then okay, so our home page is similar to this registration page only. Our login page is similar to this. We're just going to write login here. And what we are going to do is, we have the name, we have the password. Now we are going to have just one. span equals to let's see that working out. Right, so we have now what is supposed to happen is login. So we have to take a close look on how this login page works, because we have learned how to register something, right? How to store a data using the insert into statement from the HTML, the database, right? But now what we need to do is we need to code something like that, that we need to check whether we have the data in that database or not, right? That's how login works, right? If you have your name and ID and your password, maybe in you have just logged into a web, you have registered into a website, right? And you need to log into it, right? Login into it. So what you need to do is when you insert your ID and password, the system will check whether a user with the same ID or password exists or not. If it does, then it logs you in. Otherwise, it says no such IDs exist. Right? Okay, so we'll go to this home page. We'll go to this registration page, then login page. Okay, let me check whether there's some problem in it. Login.html, login.html, login. We have login page here. And is there any error? Right. Let's delete.
Sir,
Yeah.
what is this like command used for? Th calls file?
It's just basically to you know uh, combine or merge two cells, two table cells. Right?
Okay, okay.
It's just for that. Let me see whether it's working properly or not. Let's just remove it for a while. But let's first check whether our login page is working properly or not. And then click on this login. Okay, it's okay. Okay, you get the problem here. It's login.html here, but we have to set the same things here as well, right? Login.html. That's why it wasn't taking us to the place. We have to map all these navigations to all the pages so that it can work properly. Now we'll go to home page. It's nothing there. Right. Then registration page. You can have a registration page here. Then we have the login page. Right. So we can log in from here. Then about is still empty. Right. So we have created these three pages. And don't worry, when we'll add CSS to it, it will all look really good. Okay. We are just creating a basic HTML here so that we can see whether the things are working properly or not. Right. Now, okay, so what we need to do is when a user logs in, we need a good page, we need a page so that we can display after the user logs in, right? So let's write it as a maybe menu, so that it's another thing is what our project should be doing, right? We have logged in now. We have registered our data. Let's consider that we are making a project to maybe insert our marks, right? To store our marks of maybe let's say three subjects: physics, chemistry, and maths. Like what we are doing here is we are creating a project where we are storing marks of our subject. We are storing marks corresponding to each student, each user, right? Corresponding to three subjects: physics, chemistry, and maths, right? And we can add his roll number as well or something like that, right? So let's we have a menu page here. We'll see about that. Now first let's discuss about the login part here, right? So what we are going to do here is we need to connect this login.java with this login.html, right? For that what we have here is we have a form here, and we are going to insert a data here. Let's add some more columns to it and some more rows to it. We have a name, we have a password, and we have a, let's say, ID, right? Let's say we have a ID here. We just need to edit our table. We will do that really fast. We have a password and we have an ID. Or let's say roll number. Roll number, right? It should be text. Let's say it's a type of number. Let's give it as a name as RN, right? RN, UN, and UP. Hope you all remember this. Let's have some changes in our home.html. That means this is the registration page, right? Remember it. Registration page. We have a name. We have a password. Okay, that's it for registration. But for login, what we need here is, okay, we need three things: name, password, and roll number. So when we'll go to login page, okay, let's just X. Have a table row here. Right, so now let's see how our page looks like. It looks good comparatively, right? And I guess it's a number, right? So one, and it's a number form. Add one more thing to it because min should be one, I guess. So what will this do? It won't let our number reduce than one, right? We can add max as well, but let it be for now. And we have this thing. Now we need to, let's drop this table. We can alter this table too, but let's drop it for now. Drop login, right? Or drop table login. We're supposed to write. Now let's create a table. Create table. Let's name it as registration. Or let's name it as user. We have some fields like name, like 30, and we have fields like password, and we have another field like roll number. Let's give it as number or just like int, right? So we have created a table here. All right. So let's write it in home.html as well. We don't understand what we are doing right now. We will just wait. Let me just complete it. You'll all understand pretty soon. So this is the registration page. Registration page has all this, and our login page should have just this name and password. That or let's say, okay, name and password. Let's go to the login, right? So first of all, let's see how our things work, right? This is our login page. This is our registration page, right? Registration, we can insert a roll number from here. We have a password, we have a name, and we have a home here, we have registration here, login, and about, right? So let's first of all, let's register something. For example, this is select start from A, oh, the table's name is user tables. User, right? Yeah. So it's nothing in it. Now let's enter name. Let's ABC as the name. Let's enter 123 as the password. Then let's enter its roll number as 1. Change this to register. Alright, alright. We just did some mistakes here. Let me just correct these things here. Yeah. So we have this home question pages and reset. Then we have this set button here, and we are supposed to write as register, right? So this will be a registration page. Now about the login page, things are fine here. Now about the index page, we are supposed to write table is cd, but the table name is supposed to be user, right? User. Now we are inserting some data here, and we have to map all the things that we just added, all the new features that we have added, to map them everywhere. So similarly, string s3 equals to, remember that we just added a new column. Yeah, I hope that parameter here, rn is parameter, right? Now we are supposed to insert values in it. We just added a roll number, right? So we are supposed to add things like this only. Let's not get parameter. Check all the spelling mistakes, and we are sending this response. Okay, so let's send it to the index.html file. It will be better for that. Now let's refresh it. So we have a proper registration page here. We have a proper login page here. We have a home page here. So now let's register something here. ABC 23, and roll number is supposed to be 1, I guess. Let's register it now. Alright, it has taken us to the home page. Now we can see whether we have the data here or not. Yeah, we have just inserted the data here. So registration page is working properly again. Now let's talk about the login page. Now how are we supposed to log in? So when we use this login page, so first of all, this login.html, what is going to happen here is we are going to take this un and up from here to, yeah, the action is set to the login, right? Login page. That means we are talking about the login.java, right? So we'll fetch this un and up from here, and it will go to here. String, let's say s1 equals to request dot get parameter, and it will be un, right? up is the password here. s2, yeah. Now what we need to do is we need to have a database code, right? So let's copy it from here only. Try catch. And yeah, what's it? Okay, all right, we'll take care of the error. Now what we need to do is first we need to remove this query. We don't need it right now. We need to have another query, and we are supposed to, since what we are trying to do here is we are trying to fetch this data, right? this data that we have here is what we are trying to do. We have to take this data and we have to check whether a person with the name ABC and password 123 is in the database or not. So we have to do that. So what we are going to do is we are going to select okay, just let's not write star, let's write name comma, because what we need just two things, name and password, from the table user, right? Select, okay, even if we don't write it, it's all right. It's just like it. And we need the where condition, where name, right? We have a column here with the name, right? That's why we are going to use that. It's similarly like if you are using a select star from user where name equals to ABC and pass equals to 123. We got this result, right? If we had many records, then we have gotten this result. We would have gotten this result. So we are going to do the same thing here. We're just going to add it here S1 and pass equals to. Do you guys have any doubt till here? Like I'm just speaking continuously without any response from you guys. Result set rs equals to execute query. Do you always remember the query command that we had used, the select query that we had used while we were uh, connecting all this with the Java only, Java in the database? Yeah, we use this result set to check whether things work or not. Now what we're going to do is if rs.next, right? That means if rs.next is true, what this means that if there is a data in this in a table, if there is a data in a table with this query, right, with the same name and password, then what we want to happen is we'll do this. We'll take it to the menu.html page. If these things happen, right, we'll take this to the menu.html page. If not, else 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 we'll keep it on the same login page only, right? And we'll add some validation code afterwards, right? Like how to validate these things. And for this, get an error. Let's use we'll learn a way to handle these things as well. Print writer out to is an error. Alright, let me check from here. Okay, it's response.getWriter. Alright. Response.getWriter. Right. So this is working now. Now we can see that if we have such data here, we'll get directed to the menu.html page. If not, then we'll stay on the login.html page only. Right. So let's refresh it. Then we'll go to the registration page. Then we'll go to login. Let's register some more data here. Name, let's say BEF. Password should be 456. And the roll number should be, let's say, 2. Right. Let's register it as well. Right, yeah, on the home page again. We are just registering, right? We haven't logged in it yet. We are just registering because yeah, we have another data DEF. Right now we are going to insert another data here, which is GHI with the password 789 and roll number, let's say 3. Here I said again. All right, so we have 3 records here. We'll look at them now. Let's log into one of them. So what is supposed to happen, that if our system finds that we have a record with the same, with a name and password, right? If our system has a record with a name and a password, what should happen is it should take us to the menu.html page. That's right, ABC and 123 was the password. When you click on the login, see, it took us to the menu.html page. You can see that, right? Are you guys able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it took us to the menu.html page. But let's say, okay, we'll add validation to this thing as well. Don't worry. Now let's say we have something like this. This time it didn't go to the menu.html page. It stayed on the login pages. Right. So this is how we created a small project. If we enter DEF and then 456, right? 456, the same data that we had in this, in the second row. So let's click on login. We can see that we again are on the menu.html page. Now what we are going to do is, in the next lecture, what we are going to do is we are going to create a whole different pages of menu.html where we able to submit our records of physics, chemistry, and marks of physics, chemistry, and maths, right? And we are going to write a query where we can see all these marks and we can update these marks, we can delete these marks, right? So this will be for the next lecture, right? So till that time, do you guys have any doubt? Because we'll continue from tomorrow. If you guys have any doubt, please let me know.